To begin our Sunrise Smart Start this morning, calls for an end to political violence from both parties after conservative activist Charlie Kirk was shot and killed.
Kirk was shot in the neck Wednesday during a speech at Utah Valley University. The 31-year-old was the founder of Turning Point USA, an organization for young conservatives. Leaders across the political spectrum swiftly condemned the attack. President Trump calls Kirk, who was an influential MAGA ally, a martyr for truth and freedom.
Because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before.
The president also ordered flags to fly half-staff at federal buildings across the country through Sunday in Kirk's honor.
Kirk's death sending shockwaves across the political landscape nationwide, including right here at home. Local lawmakers on both sides of the aisle now weigh in with outrage and condemnation, many of them convinced this was politically motivated.
Being insulted by what somebody might say to you is one thing, but shooting people and attempting to kill and harm other people for a cause is really just abhorrent and not acceptable in our communities and our society, and particularly under our Constitution.
And it shouldn't matter what your political views are. You should be able to state in America whatever you feel. I think on a day when this young man has lost his life and his family is grieving, to be talking about the politics of this is just so inappropriate.
Utah's governor pointed to recent acts of political violence targeting prominent Democrats and Republicans, saying our nation is broken. Salt Lake City's FBI field office has set up a tip line for anyone with information to help find this shooting suspect.
There are memorials being held across the country today as we remember the nearly 3,000 people who died on September 11th, 2001.
President Trump will observe the day both in Washington as well as New York City.
He'll be there tonight. One of the many ceremonies here is happening in Brockport in about less than 2 hours. Ron Spitzer joins us live from the Firefighters Memorial. That's on South Main. Ron.
Yes, and they're currently preparing for that ceremony. We're here with Christopher Martin from Brockport Fire. I see a lot of flags here in front of the monument. What do they signify?
So the significance of the flags, when we first put them into the triangle, there's one flag for each of the firefighters that were lost in the attacks, one to remember each one by. We also have tags with their name and picture on them that we'll use throughout the day during the honor guard.
Why is it that you would encourage people to come to the monument today? You know, they're seeing this, the remembrance all day on the news, and so they are remembering. Why is it important to come out and visit the monument?
Just as you're standing here, it's a totally different atmosphere, totally different feeling. This brings about some emotion. It brings about a more definitive response to the attacks than just seeing it on TV.
And what do you have going on for the ceremony itself?
So during the ceremony, we have a memorial bell that we'll ring at 8:47 to signify the first strike. And then we have the speaker today is one of our past chiefs who had spent time in New York City and actually had spent time in the Trade Center only weeks before the attack. So he's going to speak about his experiences. And then later on in the day, we do a ring of gold. That's where all the command officers gather around the monument and have a moment of silence before we start the closing ceremony at 6:30 tonight.
And why make this an all-day remembrance event?
Because we are special. And I say that in the most significant way. We built this to remember, and we have done this 12-hour vigil every year on the day. We're not moving the day to be convenient for a weekend or a holiday. We do it on the day, on Patriot Day, to remember and recall the events and to spend time with the community and their first responders.
And of course, that ceremony starting at 8:30, so just a little while from now, people will start gathering. For now, guys, back to you.
And that will be streamed over at rochesterfirst.com as well. We did hear from more first responders. The chief at Rochester Fire, Stefano Napolitano, his department will be at MCC. The chief says years ago he tried volunteering to go to ground zero after the attacks, but he wasn't chosen. And that is something he still thinks about to this very day.
The best way to honor our brothers and sisters, and again, all branches, fire, law enforcement, EMS, emergency management, is to remember, and not just on 9/11. It's important to remember daily. This is the way that I can give back every day. I think of them in my thoughts and my prayers, but at least once a year in a very formal capacity. It's the least I could do because I wasn't able to be on the pile.
And there are several other events going on in and around Rochester today. In Irondequoit, the police department will host a gathering at the town hall on Titus Avenue at 8:46. Then at 10:30, Monroe County elected officials will join the Veterans Outreach Center for the groundbreaking of the 9/11 First Responders Memorial and Operation We Remember at Highland Park. Also, a free 9/11 memorial concert will be performed in Kilbourne Hall at the Eastman School of Music. That starts at 11. If you want more details about these and other events happening today, honoring everyone we lost 24 years ago, visit rochesterfirst.com.
Some more headlines as immigration stops and federal arrests make headlines here and around the U.S. A local attorney says the fear of deportation is having a big impact on his personal injury practice.
Albert Parisi, speaking with News 8, says he's represented clients for more than 30 years, and he says he's never imagined the challenges he's currently facing while defending immigrants in court. According to Parisi, 3 individuals were contracted by a company to install a roof on a home in the area when they fell off and broke multiple bones. They sought legal counsel at Parisi's firm, but as the case made its way through the legal system, those 3 individuals, who Parisi says are Hispanic, may face deportation.
What kind of country are we living in? It puts another level that I have to think about. In other words, when a newly arrived person is injured in an accident, are they going to be faced with deportation as part of what's going on after the case?
The details of this case come out just as the Supreme Court temporarily removed limits on what critics call aggressive, unconstitutional immigration roundups based on factors including a person's apparent ethnicity.
5 minutes to go until 7 o'clock. Let's let you know what's happening out there. Your sunrise traffic report and a view over downtown from our Greater Rock Sky Eye. The one issue just on the west side of the city, Cunningham and Troop Streets. First responders been out there for about 40 minutes or so responding to that accident. We'll be checking that again coming up during CBS Mornings when we see you at 7:25. Let's go inside the huddle, buckle down and get ready. That message we're hearing from head coach Sean McDermott ahead of the Bills game Sunday on the road against the Jets. The team had its first practice of week 2 yesterday. Cornerback Taron Johnson, linebacker Shaq Thompson were not out there as they're dealing with some injuries. As for this matchup, the Bills have won 8 out of the last 10 games against the Jets dating back to 2020.
Even though you win the game, it's too early in the season to, hey, you know, this or that. We got to buckle down and get ready for us and how we can improve, and then a really good Jets football team.
Yeah, they were great against the Steelers last Sunday. Josh Allen says he's preparing for a team that will be putting pressure on that QB, or at least trying to, every single play. We got Bills Kickoff Live Sunday morning at 11. That begins on the Rochester First streaming app. Moves to your TV second half hour at 11:30 on News 8. And then we'll have the Bills' first road test of the year against the division rival Sunday afternoon, taking on New York in New Jersey. Kicking off at 1. All right, James, final weather here, getting out this Thursday.
Gorgeous across the region. Nice day for you, mid-70s. We'll do the same again tomorrow. Increase in the clouds just a little bit there on Saturday before those rain chances coming in on Sunday. Otherwise, looks pretty good even into next week, banking on more dry weather.
Just steady across the board for the highs and lows. That does it for us this Thursday. Our next update coming your way in half an hour.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on rochesterfirst.com, Facebook, X, and on our app for news and weather. Get the Rochester First streaming app today for everything you love from News 8 on demand, plus exclusive shows you won't see anywhere else. Search ROC and download for free on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.